Hey everyone, welcome. Fans of 90 Day Fiance are aware that the show is full of unexpected turns and global relationships that frequently result in heartbreak. But today, we're uncovering what might be one of the most jaw-dropping betrayals in the franchise's history. I'm talking about Georgie Rusev and his wife Darcy Silva. 90 Day Fiance star Georgie Rusev and his wife Darcy Silva recently sold their house for $1.2 million. However, after the sale, Darcy Silva cunningly stole the entire amount and flirted with her secret lover Jackson. Darcy Silva has been secretly in a romantic relationship with Jackson for the past 2 years. Later, Darcy Silva divorced Georgie Rusev and officially married Jackson. Who is Jackson? We have got all the details. Before going to the main topic, I would like to say, like this video, and please subscribe to the channel. Before we get into the shocking details, let's set the stage. If you're new to the 90 Day Fiancé universe, Darcy Silva is a reality TV icon. A 50-year-old Connecticut native, Darcy first captured our hearts in 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days Season 1 with her rollercoaster romance with Jess Meester. Since then, she's been on a quest for love, starring in her own spin-off, Darcy and Stacey, alongside her twin sister, Stacey Silva. But it's her relationship with Georgie Rusev, a Bulgarian model and massage therapist, that's been the talk of the town. They got married in a secret ceremony in November 2023, but now, whispers of scandal are shaking up their fairy tale. Let's break it all down, step by step. Darcy and Georgie's love story started like something out of a romance novel. They met on Instagram in 2020, when Georgie, a 35-year-old Bulgarian heartthrob, slid into Darcy's DMs. Sparks flew instantly. Darcy, who'd been through heartbreak with Jess Meester and Tom Brooks, thought she'd finally found her prince charming. Georgie was charming, muscular, and had that European flair that Darcy couldn't resist. Their chemistry was undeniable, but their relationship, oh, it was a wild ride from the start. If you've watched Darcy and Stacey, you know these two were like fire and gasoline. They got engaged, broke up, got engaged again, and broke up again. It was drama central, but in November 2023, they shocked everyone by tying the knot in a secret ceremony at Darcy's father's estate in Connecticut. Only 15 guests were there, and the wedding was kept hush-hush until Darcy spilled the tea to People magazine in January 2024. She called it a breathtaking day, saying the date, November 11th, was special because of the number 11, which held meaning for her late brother, Michael, and their fashion brand, House of 11. It seemed like Darcy had finally found her happily ever after, or so we thought. But here's where things start to get juicy. Behind the scenes, Darcy and Georgie's marriage wasn't all rose petals and champagne. Sources close to the couple say tensions were brewing almost immediately after the I-dose. Darcy was posting cryptic Instagram captions like, "I'm strong and loving me. I'm my own soulmate." Just 2 months after the wedding, fans started raising eyebrows, and then bam, the rumors started swirling. But before we get to the big betrayal, let's talk about the house that set this whole scandal in motion. Darcy and Georgie weren't just building a life together, they were building a home. In early 2024, they decided to sell their stunning Connecticut property, a gorgeous estate that was the backdrop for their secret wedding. This wasn't just any house. We're talking a sprawling mansion with all the bells and whistles, marble countertops, a grand staircase, and enough space to host a 90 Day Fiancé reunion. The house hit the market and sold in record time for a hopping $1.2 million. For Darcy and Georgie, this was supposed to be a fresh start, maybe a chance to relocate or invest in their future together. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. According to sources, and trust me, we've been digging deep into this, the sale was finalized in March 2024. The money was deposited into a joint account that Darcy and Georgie shared. This was their nest egg, their big win as a married couple. Georgie, who'd been working hard as a massage therapist and model, was reportedly excited about using the funds to start a new chapter, maybe even expand their fashion brand, House of 11. But Darcy? She had other plans that involved a man named Jackson. Now, before we dive into who Jackson is, let's talk about the red flags that were popping up left and right. Fans noticed that Darcy and Georgie unfollowed each other on Instagram in January 2025, just a year after their wedding announcement. Darcy's posts started getting cryptic again, with captions like single era and solo vibes only, independent and fierce. Georgie, meanwhile, went radio silent on social media, which is unlike him. The guy loves flexing his gym selfies and massage therapy promos. Something was clearly off, but nobody could have predicted the bombshell that was about to drop. Enter Jackson, the man who's now at the center of the scandal. Who is Jackson? Well, buckle up, because this is where the story takes a turn straight out of a soap opera. Jackson is a 42-year-old entrepreneur from Barcelona, Spain, with a reputation for charm and a lifestyle that screams luxury. Think private yachts, tailored suits, and a smile that could melt hearts. Sources say Darcy met Jackson in early 2023, before her wedding to Georgie, during a business trip to Miami for House of 11. Jackson was attending a fashion event, and the two hit it off instantly. Here's the kicker. Darcy kept her connection with Jackson a secret for 2 years. While she was planning her wedding with Georgie, filming Darcy and Stacey, and posting lovey-dovey photos with her Bulgarian beau, she was allegedly sneaking away to meet Jackson. Sources claim they'd rendezvoused in Miami, New York, and even took a secret trip to Spain together in mid-2023, disguised as a business trip for Darcy's fashion brand. Jackson, with his Spanish accent and worldly charm, was everything Darcy craved: a man who made her feel like the center of the universe, something she'd always struggled to find. Now let's be real, Darcy's no stranger to drama, but keeping a secret lover for 2 years while married to Georgie, that's next level. Friends close to Darcy say Jackson swept her off her feet with grand gestures, private dinners, surprise gifts, and promises of a life filled with adventure. He reportedly told her he could take her away from the chaos of reality TV and give her the fairy tale she'd always dreamed of. But there was a catch. Jackson needed money to fund his latest business venture, a luxury resort project in Spain. And that's where the $1.2 million comes in. According to insiders, Darcy saw the house sale as her ticket to a new life with Jackson. In April 2024, just weeks after the sale was finalized, Darcy allegedly transferred the entire $1.2 million from their joint account to an offshore account linked to Jackson's company. Georgie was completely in the dark. He thought they were planning to invest the money together, maybe buy a new place or fund their fashion brand. But Darcy had other ideas. She was ready to leave Georgie and her old life behind. Picture this. It's late April 2024, and Georgie comes home to an empty house. Darcy's gone. Her clothes, her jewelry, her favorite House of 11 designs all vanished. No note, no explanation, just a cryptic text that read, "I need to find myself." Georgie was blindsided. He tried calling her, texting her, even reaching out to her sister Stacey, but Darcy was nowhere to be found. That's when he checked their joint account and saw it. Zero balance. The $1.2 million from the house sale, gone. Transferred without a trace. Georgie was devastated. He took to social media, posting vague but emotional messages about trust and betrayal. Fans started piecing things together, and the rumor mill went into overdrive. Where was Darcy? What happened to the money? And who was this mystery man she was spotted with in Barcelona? The 90-day Fiance fandom was losing it, and honestly, so was I. But the truth was even wilder than anyone could have imagined. Darcy had fled to Spain with Jackson. Sources say she landed in Barcelona in early May 2024, where Jackson was waiting with open arms and a penthouse overlooking the Mediterranean. For a few weeks, Darcy lived like a queen, posting filtered Instagram stories from exotic locations, careful not to show Jackson's face. But the 90-day sleuths on Reddit and X were relentless. They noticed clues in her posts. A man's reflection in a wine glass, a Spanish street sign, and even a pair of men's shoes that didn't match Georgie's style. The fandom was onto her, and the truth was about to come out. By June 2024, Darcy was ready to make her move permanent. She filed for divorce from Georgie, citing irreconcilable differences. The filing was quick and quiet, handled by a high-powered attorney in Connecticut. Georgie, still reeling from the financial betrayal, didn't contest the divorce. Sources say he was too heartbroken to fight, and he just wanted to move on. The divorce was finalized in August 2024, less than a year after their fairy tale wedding. But Darcy wasn't done shocking the world. In September 2024, just weeks after her divorce was finalized, she married Jackson in a lavish ceremony in Barcelona. The wedding was straight out of a movie, a cliffside venue overlooking the sea, Darcy in a flowing white gown, and Jackson looking like a Spanish prince. They kept it private, with only a handful of guests, but photos leaked online, and the 90-day Fiance fandom went wild. Darcy Silva, married again? To a man nobody knew about. And where was the $1.2 million? Jackson and Darcy's wedding was the talk of the internet. Fans were divided. Some called Darcy a queen for following her heart, while others slammed her for betraying Georgie and stealing the money. Stacey Silva, Darcy's twin, reportedly didn't attend the wedding, fueling rumors of a rift between the sisters. On 90 Day, the last resort, Stacey hinted at tension with Darcy, saying her sister had been making questionable choices. Ouch! So, where does this leave Georgie? The man lost his wife, his money, and his dream home, all in the span of a few months. Sources say he's been focusing on rebuilding his life in Miami, where he's expanding his massage therapy business and even dipping his toes back into modeling. Georgie's been quiet about the scandal, but in a recent interview on the Virtual Reality podcast, he hinted at feeling betrayed, saying, "Sometimes, love blinds you to the truth." Deep, right? Georgie's also been active on OnlyFans and Cameo, trying to make ends meet after the financial hit. Fans have rallied around him, with many calling Darcy's actions unforgivable. But Georgie's not giving up. He's been spotted in Miami, looking fitter than ever, and there are rumors he's dating again. Could we see him on 90 Day, the single life? Only time will tell. As for Darcy, she's living her best life in Spain, or so it seems. She and Jackson are reportedly working on their resort project, funded by the $1.2 million from the house sale. Darcy's been posting about new beginnings and following her heart, but fans aren't buying it. Many are calling her out for what they see as theft and betrayal. Legal experts say Georgie could sue for his share of the money, but so far, he hasn't taken any action. Maybe he's just ready to let it go. But not everyone's convinced Darcy's fairy tale is as perfect as she claims. Insiders say Jackson's business ventures are shaky, and there are whispers he's not as wealthy as he portrays. Could Darcy have traded one heartbreak for another? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Darcy Silva knows how to keep us talking. So, what's next for these two? Will Darcy and Jackson's marriage last? Or is this just another chapter in her never-ending quest for love? Will Georgie fight for his share of the $1.2 million? Or will he move on and find his own happily ever after? And what about Darcy and Stacey? With rumors of a rift between the twins, could the show be in jeopardy? The 90-Day Fiance universe is never short on drama, and this scandal has taken it to a whole new level. I want to hear from you, fam. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you think Darcy did Georgie dirty, or is she just living her truth? Should Georgie sue for the money, or let it go? And who else wants to see this play out on 90 Day, the last resort? Let's get this conversation popping. That's all for today's deep dive into the Darcy Silva and Georgie Rusev scandal. This story has everything: love, betrayal, money, and a secret lover from Spain. More update. 90 Day Fiance. Trouble in Paradise. Stacey Silva reveals relationship with Florian is strained. 90 Day Fiance. Trouble in Paradise. Stacey Silva reveals relationship with Florian is strained. And Darcy Silva is considering a makeover for after Georgie's insulting comments. And Darcy Silva is considering a makeover for her for a more feminine look. I will explain everything. 90 Day Fiance. Trouble in Paradise. Stacey Silva reveals relationship with Florian is strained. Despite on her birthday, Stacey Silva and Florian's love story on 90 Days of Marriage has struck a tough spot. There has been a lot of upheaval in their marriage, which bodes poorly for their future together. Their romance started with a casual online conversation almost 10 years ago. His adultery was a frequent source of contention between Stacey and Florian. She finally urged him to return to Albania, his home country, because things had gotten so heated. She told him he was a monster and that he needed to improve his personality. The pair informed the host during tell-all that the individual treatment sessions had no beneficial effect on them. He proceeded to use profanity and other derogatory terms to insult the counselor. At their 50th birthday party, Darcy and Stacey Silva were watching Stacey's courtship with Florian, and Darcy couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Even though her twin sisters tied the knot, Darcy isn't content in her union. She attempted to abscond with her sister's lover multiple times. She claims she isn't envious, yet she couldn't help but feel envious of them at the party. Darcy was heavily criticized by TLC fans for causing chaos in Stacey's relationship on The Last Resort. She has never been forthright with them, and they suspect she has hidden agendas. After Florian and Stacey fell out in her, Darcy quickly went to Georgie to see whether he would be interested in sharing her with her. The audience cheered and explained to him what his wife was saying, as he was unable to comprehend her. After Stacey married Florian Sukaj, he changed drastically. According to her, she loves him deeply, but he doesn't feel the same way. Because he had changed, she felt quite firmly that their paths were intended to separate. Their relationship has not improved, even though she acknowledged that there had been some positive adjustments. In the July 25 episode of Brittany Cartwright's podcast, When Reality Hits, Stacey and Darcy discussed their reality TV careers and marital status. One major reason why the connection between the sisters and their husbands is tense is because both of them are breadwinners in their partnerships. When the host finally got down to brass tacks, Stacey confirmed that she is not divorcing Florian. We're going through a tough patch at the moment, Stacey said. Additionally, she expressed her joy that Florian is following his passions. Regarding their future, though, she is unsure. After leaving TLC, the star's marital troubles reappeared, dampening her once positive outlook. After a rough patch, Stacey thought she and Florian had been afforded some much-needed distance by the show. But just now, things are really bad. Despite her assurance that everything will be ok with him in due course, she is proceeding cautiously. The white tea star is perplexed because her hubby was criticized for his communication skills. Darcy Silva is considering a makeover for after Georgie's insulting comments. Darcy Silva, star of 90 Day Fiance, is famously obsessed with getting plastic surgery. In order to alter their looks, she and her sister Stacey often have cosmetic surgery together. When it comes to their appearance, the Silva sisters are always trying new things and experimenting. Darcy and Stacey's fixation on the operations is driving fans of TLC crazy. Together with her spouse, Georgie Rusev, the former became a member of Happily Ever After. Bulgaria, the homeland of her spouse, was to be their destination. He was eager to show Darcy off to his loved ones. However, the reality TV star requested that she dress more conservatively and minimize her characteristics. Unfortunately, things got out of hand when Georgie made derogatory comments about his wife's attractiveness. Darcy appears to be on the hunt for a little clothing adjustment for her right now. Does Georgie have a role? What was the rationale behind her choice? Meeting Georgie's parents is a happy and nerve-wracking prospect for Darcy Silva in Season 9 of Happily Ever After. She wishes they will accept her, but she is unsure if they will. In an effort to cut her nails and thin her eyelashes, the 90 Day Fiance star visited her cosmetologist. According to Darcy, making further changes would be quite significant for her. Therefore, she began by attending to the details. She expressed her belief that this will be sufficient justice for Georgie and his family, saying, "I love myself, I honor myself." But the reality TV star has already stated her intention to not confide in a man who treats her disrespectfully. Regrettably, Georgie didn't find the transformation very impressive and thought she appeared unchanged. Because he was afraid people would tease her, he had a nervous breakdown. In most cases, Darcy Silva's new looks are what grabbed the media's attention. The 2 surgeries she underwent back-to-back transformed her entirely. Nevertheless, it appears that the TLC star has intentions to roll back some adjustments. Georgie and Darcy recently discussed their experience on season 9. The former has come clean about her self-love and her quest for longevity. Eventually, she admitted, "I feel like I might do a little make-under." The 90-day Fiance star appeared to be looking forward to what the future brought, as she expressed the belief that simplicity can be elegant. Silva intended to lessen the size of her. At the year's conclusion, she said, "So maybe like a size or 2 down." The reality TV starlet recently came clean about her recent trip to Turkey. Darcy is raving about the results of her brow lift, which she got done in the country as well. Along with her sister Stacey, she intends to have a. According to Viva Weekly, the reality TV star is open to the idea of being a little trimmer and toned. Even though Silva is short, she believes her clothing will fit her better. The extra weight of the enlarged also causes her back pain. Your thoughts on her new plans? Let us know in the space provided. If you want to know more about Darcy's surgical plans, be sure to visit TV season and spoilers. Darcy Silva is thinks they are too heavy. Evidently, Darcy Silva is dissatisfied with the outcome of her procedure. She recently announced her plan to achieve a more feminine appearance by reducing the size of her B. The star of 90 Day Fiance frequently undergoes cosmetic surgery to alter her appearance. Stacey and Darcy have both had plastic surgery multiple times to alter their looks. They documented their cosmetic surgery recoveries and outcomes throughout the years. The TLC performers were under continual fire from fans who felt they had gone too far with their cosmetic improvements. Because of all the plastic surgery that Darcy and Stacey had to endure, they were the targets of relentless trolling. The former appears to be considering getting plastic surgery again. How did the audience respond? Why is she undergoing a procedure to reduce her size? With his life in Bulgaria packed, Georgie said "I do" to Darcy Silva. On 90 Day Fiance, they experienced a lot of ups and downs. In order to introduce Darcy to his parents, Georgie chose to take him to Bulgaria for the first time. It was important to him that his wife leave a positive impression. She was asked by the reality TV star to dress modestly due to the country's strict customs. But Darcy irritated Georgie by flaunting her breasts in a revealing attire. She hoped he would compliment her on her attempts to conceal her looks before they left. Rusev, on the other hand, thought nothing had changed. He scolded his wife for being unattractive in her outfit and pointed out her breasts. The TLC star was worried that his wife would be the target of criticism from those close to him. When Darcy Silva wants to change her appearance, she usually goes all out. There have been various attempts by her and her sister Stacey to change their looks. The TLC stars have shown off the dramatic transformations in their appearance throughout the years. In a recent interview, Darcy discussed her intentions for the future. She came clean about her desire to have a small make-under done on her breasts. As the 90 Day Fiance star said, comfort has always been her first priority. Because of this, Darcy and Stacey intend to have their breast implants reduced. In reference to the former's breast size, she said, "Stacey and I were thinking of going a little smaller, maybe a size or 2 down. They are already on the small side, and she thinks less is more." The reality TV personality admitted that the extra weight of her breast implants was making her feel self-conscious. A more demure and feminine side of Darcy has recently surfaced. So she and her identical twin sister decided to have yet another operation. A trip to Turkey could be in the works for the reality TV stars soon. According to Darcy, who spoke to Page 6, the couple typically takes a vacation to the country for their cosmetic procedures. She has joined Stacey on a path to longevity, and they intend to accomplish more in the coming years. Before the year comes to a close, the twin sisters might undergo the operation. Because of all the difficulties women with large breasts have, fans applauded Darcy and Stacey's decision. They also think the sisters should have breast reduction surgery. Darcy Silva is considering a make-under for her breast implants for a more feminine look. The iconic 90-day Fiance contestant, Darcy Silva, is back in the news, this time due to her cosmetic surgery. Her admirers are taken aback by the fact that she isn't permanently altering or improving her appearance. To get a more feminine appearance, the TLC actress is surprisingly thinking about getting smaller breast implants. Just like her twin sister Stacey, Darcy has recently made a full recovery from her last cosmetic procedure. When it comes to achieving their ideal body type, the siblings aren't afraid to try new things or alter their appearance. Cosmetic surgery is Darcy and Stacey's lifeblood. To get their ideal appearances, they have experimented with many different approaches over the years. The siblings have obviously tried everything. However, it appears that Darcy has reconsidered her decision to get breast implants and has opted for a lesser size. For what reason does she wish to alter it? Would Stacey go with her? Darcy Silva, star of 90 Day Fiance, is famous for her never-ending series of cosmetic treatments. When it comes to her face, she isn't afraid to try anything new. Fans were quite aback to learn that her husband, Georgie, also had plastic surgery. In an interview with Page 6, Darcy discussed her processes. She discussed her April 2018 Fox Eye operation publicly. The reality TV star revealed the duration of recovery time required for the surgeries. Darcy also discussed her intentions for upcoming surgery. As a result, her husband Georgie revealed that she had persuaded him to have several operations. A jawline, cheeks, and lips were all he confessed to having. Viewers were taken aback by the couple's fixation on surgery and worried that Georgie may soon join his wife in this unhealthy devotion. Having large breasts was a major obstacle for Darcy Silva in the most recent season of Happily Ever After. Inspiring others with her journey, she enjoys flaunting her figure. But Georgie insisted that the American woman dress more conservatively so that she wouldn't have to flash her breasts while they were in Georgia. Respect was what Darcy craved, and she wasn't prepared to give it up for her husband. Her intention to reduce the size of her breast implants was recently discussed. A makeover for her breasts was mentioned by the 90 Day Fiance star. Silva mentioned that Stacey and her were considering a size or two smaller in breast size. As if her short stature weren't enough, she believes that sometimes less is more. The reality TV personality went on to say, "And I feel like they're a little heavy and weighing us down." Something demure and feminine is what Darcy is aiming for. Along with her twin sister, she frequently visits Turkey for cosmetic operations. The country's reputation for affordable surgery attracts many famous faces. In the coming months, Darcy and Stacey will most certainly have surgical procedures. Page 6 states that they had already discussed procedures with the doctors. This suggests that a trip to Turkey could be in the works for the reality TV personality. The fans were on board with Darcy's decision and could see why she made it. Their experiences with backaches and other health problems, as well as the weight of larger breasts, were recounted. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.